Instructomania presents the Geography of Medieval China. This video will detail the geographic features of China, how geography shaped the lives of the Chinese during the Middle Ages, and who lived in medieval China. The word geography, through a historian's lens, means the physical environment and how it may influence an economy and culture. Some examples may include scorching deserts that encourage nomads to move between water sources, islands where the surrounding ocean offered a food source, flooding rivers that created fertile farmland, and mountains where a resource like timber was used for building. Section 1. Geographic features of China. China is the third largest country in the world, and it has every type of climate on Earth, from subarctic to tropical. China borders a total of 14 other countries, including India to the southwest, beyond the Himalayan mountains, home of the tallest peak in the world, Mount Everest. Mount Everest stands over 29,000 feet tall. The Tibet Plateau nestles between the Himalayan mountains and the Kunlun Mountains in eastern China and makes up about 1/4 of China's land. The average height of the Tibet Plateau is 14,000 feet above sea level, making it the tallest plateau in the world. The Taklimakan Desert of northwest China is a cold desert climate, plunging as low as -4 degrees in winter. The Mongolian Plateau dips into northern China. This massive plateau measures 1,200,000 square miles. The Gobi Desert sits on the southern part of the Mongolian Plateau. From ancient times through the Middle Ages, there were several major stops on the Silk Road for weary travelers traversing the Gobi Desert. Most of China's agriculture happens between the Huanghe River, or the Yellow River, to the north and the Yangtze River to the south. Both rivers start in the Tibet Plateau, run down into the North China Plain, and empty into the Yellow Sea. The Grand Canal runs 1,100 miles from the northern city of Beijing to the southern city of Hangzhou, connecting both the Yellow and Yangtze rivers. Fun fact, in the 1400s, the Chinese government operated over 11,000 grain barges on the canal to transport food to the north. The Southern Song Dynasty set up their capital in Hangzhou, near a protected bay of the East China Sea. Dadu, the capital of the Yuan Mongol dynasty, set near a protected bay in a northern section of the Yellow River. It's called Beijing today. Test your knowledge. Let's play Where's the Chicken? In this game, you will track the chicken as it appears on a blank map of China. Once the music stops, you will use a China map labeled with physical features to determine where the chicken ended up. Other animals may appear on the map, so don't forget to keep your eyes on the chicken. So, where did the chicken end up? Was it the Tibet Plateau, the Gobi Desert, or the Yellow River? That's right, it was the Gobi Desert. Let's try it again. Remember to keep your eyes on the chicken. So, where did the chicken end up? Was it the Mongolian Plateau, the Grand Canal, or the capital city of Dadu? It was the capital city of Dadu. Let's try one last time. You got this. So, where did the chicken end up? Was it the Taklimakan Desert, the capital city of Hangzhou, or the Yangtze River? Nice job! It was the Yangtze River. Fun fact, a Mongolian warrior on the move would stick a bag of ingredients such as meat, onions, rice, or flour under his saddle. The heat from the friction between his body and the horse would cook it into a kind of stew. How geography shaped the lives of the Chinese during the Middle Ages. The Yellow River and Yangtze rivers continued to affect life in China during the Middle Ages. In addition to farmland expanding to accommodate a growing population, the Grand Canal, created during the Sui dynasty and expanded in later dynasties, connected the Chinese to enable travel, the trade of resources, and increased communication. In this way, food grown in the south was able to reach northern China, where the climate was colder. The Chinese also created terrace farming techniques, allowing rice to be grown on steep mountainsides. Despite the high elevations and extreme temperatures of China's geography, trade routes were expanded. Under the Mongol or Yuan dynasty, resting stations for weary travelers and warrior patrols were built along the roads, especially along the Silk Road routes in the Gobi Desert. The mild climate and centralized area near major waterways and trade routes in the North China Plains became an ideal place for the Yuan dynasty to set up an alternate capital in Dadu, near modern Beijing. Fun fact, the Mongols became great sailors and navigators during the Middle Ages. Section 3. Who lived in medieval China? 5 Chinese dynasties continued into the Middle Ages, starting with the Sui dynasty from 581 to 618 CE and ending with the Ming dynasty in 1644 CE. The Sui dynasty was short-lived, but very important because it reconnected southern China together into an empire that was previously disunited. While the Sui fell in 618 CE, China would emerge as a dominant force in Asia again during the Tang and Song dynasties. The Tang dynasty brought China into its golden age, where historians note a major expansion of infrastructure, such as the Grand Canal. It served as the main artery between northern and southern China and was essential for the transport of grain. The Tang dynasty economy flourished with improvements in gunpowder and porcelain production, and the development of woodblock printing, which created the world's first printed book. Civil service examinations required government officials to pass a rigorous exam before they could attain a job in the government. The Song dynasty continued this golden age, embracing a return to Confucianism in life and government. It also produced inventions such as the compass and improved farming techniques and trade. Paper money and new art methods were created under Song dynasty leadership. Also, tea drinking became fashionable in this era, making tea leaves a highly traded product. Initiated by Genghis Khan, the Mongolian Yuan dynasty conquered the Song in 1235 CE. The Mongol Empire was the largest contiguous empire the world has ever seen, covering 9.15 million square miles of land, more than 16% of the Earth's landmass. The empire had 110 million people between 1270 and 1309, more than 25% of the world's population. Under Mongol rule, the Chinese people were fixed into a large lower class, subject to heavy taxes and forced labor. During this era, trade increased with the rest of the world. By reopening the Silk Road and protecting travelers who used it, they opened the door to European and Middle Eastern merchants. The Mongols were known for being fierce, uncivilized warriors, but slowly they began to adopt Chinese ways of Confucianism. The Ming dynasty retook China from their Mongol oppressors and built the Great Wall to keep them out. They also re-established the merit-based government and centralized it in the Forbidden City. One of China's great explorers, Zheng He, commanded an expeditionary voyage to Southeast Asia, South Asia, Western Asia, and East Africa from 1405 to 1433. However, shortly after his return, the Chinese mysteriously closed their borders from foreign influence, ideas, technology, and trade. Let's check out what it really looks like in China today. As you can see, the physical environment of China greatly influenced the economy and culture of the people who lived there during the Middle Ages. Consider this. In what ways does the physical environment influence your family? Be prepared to support your answers with examples. From two teachers to all of you amazing teachers out there, we would like to thank you for choosing our resources to use in your classroom. Find more Instructomania teaching materials and lessons at our Instructomania store and on our YouTube channel. Thanks so much for your support.